What's going on, YouTube and cryptocurrency family? My name is Harry, and I'm the Crypto Vet. Thank you for tuning back in. Today we had some different things happen. We had Bitcoin actually pump up a little bit, kind of halted some of the altcoins that were making some big moves. So today we're going to go over what to expect next. Is the alt season over? Is Bitcoin going to redeem its dominance and shoot back up? And just end the alt season from here where they have to climb slowly, or is the exact opposite going to happen? Bitcoin's going to come plummeting back down. Well, I'm going to go over a couple different scenarios for each and some facts that I found in the charts that you can apply to see which direction we think it's going to go in. So if you like that, if you like the content, please hit the like, hit the subscribe. If you haven't already, follow me on Twitter at XRP Veterinarian, and links for Twitch, Discord, and all the other goodies are going to be down below. So let's go ahead and get started here. If we head over into CoinMarketCap, we can see we really popped up when Bitcoin moved up a bit here. Bitcoin's currently up about 7.5%. Market cap's up to about $2.17 trillion, and Bitcoin dominance jumped up a few percent here. We can still see a lot of green in the market. XRP up into the entry point area that I was looking for in the $1.50 range, which we'll go over. We got BNB up, Ethereum still testing to see if it can make new all-time highs. Our biggest gainers here, we have Phantom One. A lot of these DeFi projects doing very, very well. And the biggest losers, not very much, right? We got less than 1-2% on most here. Even here on the biggest gainers, we've got some green down below. So question is, what does this mean, right? Well, if we head over to the Bitcoin dominance, we can see that we had our last support right where we bounced off of. And this is the almost a 3-year low for Bitcoin dominance. And right here we had a jump to the upside, and I sent out some stuff on Twitter trying to explain that just because Bitcoin dominance is dropping doesn't mean that its price has to drop. Its price can actually drop and Bitcoin dominance go up, or vice versa. It purely just depends on how much money is leaving Bitcoin and going into other cryptocurrencies, or just new money coming into altcoins specifically. So we just use this as a determining factor on when people who have Bitcoin are going to capitalize on other cryptocurrencies, and then when those take off and make a lot of profits, a lot of maximalists think that Bitcoin's the only crypto, so afterwards they take all their profit and they put it back in, right? So I did get a little flack because I said that Bitcoin may not always be number one. Hey, I mean, you know, back 10 years ago, some people thought that Microsoft and Apple wouldn't be able to coexist together. Obviously they did, and some of the big companies that were around 10 years ago don't exist anymore now, right? So things innovate, things evolve. So it was just a possibility here, so you know, don't come at me. But if we head over here to Bitcoin, we can see here on the daily, I have a couple of other indicators up. We had the 13 weekly EMA, which we had as good support, and we had a couple scenarios that could happen. We could come up to the 20 daily, get rejected, maybe come back down here for support and bounce up. Well, in fact, we actually came down and then bounced up and got above the 20 daily exponential moving average, which is a very good thing for Bitcoin, right? This is showing that the bulls are in charge and that they want to drive the price upwards here. We're currently above one of the key supports that I said we need to get above, which is the volume and the VPVR point of control. We're currently above that, and in the next 6 hours, if we can close above this, there's a higher chance that we may actually overcome this big resistance of 57,500. But if we were to get rejected there, now we can come back down and possibly have support on this 20 daily. So we kind of came down, got up, didn't make it, came down, got above that. So we're kind of climbing this ladder up to new highs. So if we were to say slowly creep our way up, we could start to see a $66,000 Bitcoin here in the next week to 2 weeks. I still don't think that that's going to happen just based off of past performance of Bitcoin, but you know, anything can happen. So this is why we take a look at the charts to kind of see what's going on. I was also going over in the Discord why this was a bottom, and there's a lot of different reasons. One was we started to see that this wave down at the bottom of the MACD was actually starting to trend upwards right as we came down here. So it was finally starting to make its way up to towards the upside. Now, after 4 days past that time, we're potentially going to have a golden cross on the daily for Bitcoin, which has proved to be very, very good. Down here, right before the Tesla news, we had a nice pump to the upside. Here, when the MACD crossed, we had a move to the upside. But right here, we kind of got faked out But then after it did, we had one last little pump before we had the big dump that we're in now. So the question is, will we have an actual big cross and see a move to the upside? Or will we see something like this where we kind of get over it and trade sideways? Personally, I think we're actually going to do one of these again because we just came out of a big dump and we need to confirm that we don't need to go down further. But like I said, anything can happen. But something like this here, in my opinion, is more likely because we come back up, we get to where we want to be, and then we kind of decide what's going to happen. And right at this point, we actually got above the 20 daily exponential moving average, came to retest some of these previous resistance that we had built right here, and we traded sideways for almost a week, week and a half before finally making a pump to the upside. So I think that realistically, we're going to do exactly that. We may come right up here. We already got rejected at the 57.5 here in the 4 hour and hourly, which I'll show here in a second, and we'll probably just come back down, maybe retest this 20 daily and bounce in between these support and resistance, just like we did right here before making a move to the upside. And by doing this, I think it'll also help the altcoins capitalize on themselves so that way they don't have to have a massive upswing or downswing based off of whatever Bitcoin is doing. But we're going to keep an eye on that and see what happens. If we zoom in here on the 4 hourly, we can see that we have potentially a reverse head and shoulders pattern that we talked about before, which you can see this neckline is exactly at this $57,500 mark area. And, if we were to do just a measured move, roughly, I'm not even going to go all the way down to the wick. I'm just going to do it right in between up. And we came up, we could see a breakout to new all-time highs around $66,000, $67,000. Just really depends on where you want to draw this. If you want to go all the way down to the wick, you want to do candle bodies, however the case may be. But these patterns aren't always reliable. So you have to look at other things that may potentially say where we're going. On the Discord, I was saying how I thought we were at a bottom, specifically right here, or that we at least start a relief rally. One of the things that I pulled up was an indicator called the TD sequential, and the TD sequential actually shows so kind of a weird ass formula, but in the end, after we hit a 9 in one direction or the other, we usually have a reversal. So you can see here we went 1 all the way up to 9, and it said setup flash, most likely going to at least trend down to reset the TD sequential. Here we went down 9, flipped, and now we can see we had a relief rally. It doesn't mean that we're going to come all the way back up to 9. We could do a 1 flash tomorrow and it comes back down. But the TD sequential, especially on bigger time frames, tends to be pretty good about showing when momentum is running out. I use indicators similar to Market Cipher to help me with the momentum waves on the daily and weekly. But the fact that this lined up exactly with the momentum waves and actually showed the setup for a sell and a buy, I thought it was worth just showing. I usually don't put them in my videos though. So going back to Bitcoin here on the hourly or 4 hourly, we can see that we're getting rejected there. If we did get rejected, we potentially have a lot of support right here. We have volume on the VPVR. We could come back down here and then start trading sideways here, just like we traded sideways right here. However, there is potential that we could break out very soon just based off the symmetry of this reverse head and shoulders. We got, I don't know, was this 3 or 4 days? Almost 5 days where we were in that range. We have about almost 4 days there, and then almost 4 to 5 days here. So it's a very symmetrical head and shoulders pattern with a straight neckline. So, this would be the closest thing to a textbook one that I could imagine, except for the fact that there's not V shapes within the left and right shoulders. So just something to look at. If we take a look at Ethereum, because Bitcoin did have its pump here above the point of control, you can see that Ethereum is struggling a little bit to get over this channel. And this is exactly where I said I would enter a trade in, is if we could get above this channel in a new all-time high, confirm it, and then potentially go to the upside. But Ethereum has done a lot lately. It's on the Bitcoin to Ethereum pairing. You can see that Ethereum is actually struggling on the 0.236. And this is a long chart with a fib extension of the entire pattern of Bitcoin to Ethereum. So we knew that this would be a little bit of a struggle, but once we get past this, there's a lot of room to go. And you can see the last time we overcame this fib line, it went parabolic pretty fast. So we're just waiting to see what happens here. But of course, it still all depends on Bitcoin. Same goes for XRP. Just like before where I mentioned the little TD sequential, you can see here we had the 9 flash setup, and we moved. A part of the reason why I also thought that this was the bottom for XRP back when we actually hit right at $1 and we held there for about 3 days, 4 days technically. But now that we're getting back up above the 20 daily, if we look on the 4-hour, I'll zoom this out just a little bit. You can see this previous uptrend that we were in. We fell below it. We broke this downtrend, came up, was rejected on this uptrend, and now we are above it, fighting at the golden pocket on our fib retracement, but we are above this previous uptrend resistance, now back to support. So, and just like on the Bitcoin, we have a potential head and shoulders, reverse head and shoulders pattern here, which if this played out is going to bring us back up to $1.98, $2.02, something like that. So I think best if Bitcoin can hold its own right now. We'll see XRP ride this trend line up, and probably later tonight, tomorrow, we'll either drop below it or we'll break above it and at least get up to around the $1.75 range. So if you guys like these charts with all my little explanations, kind of like this with entry points, why I did what, whatever, let me know and I can keep doing more of those. So, you know, they take a little bit more time. So if it's not something you guys are interested, I'll put more time into the videos versus actually doing that. If we look at XRP on the 4-hour and zoomed in, we can see that resistance that we had. This is a symmetrical triangle that we broke out of. Quick little measured move. You can see we met that target. So now we need to form a new pattern. Make sure everybody's on the same page. Whether we break back down to the downside, which is possible, we do have a lot of support below. We have the 0.5 fib, the point of control on the VPVR, the 0.382, which if we were to pull back, that would be the most likely place, right back to where we started. And then we also have the 20 daily exponential moving average. So I don't think that we will pull back, but if Bitcoin drops, ta-da, back down we go. So before we take off, I'll go ahead and just do a quick look at KCS and HBAR, just because we went over those the past couple days. We can see that the KuCoin token is still making its way up after confirming a breakout on the 4-hour. So I just expect this to do slow movements all the way up until it gets back to its all-time high here, potentially get rejected. But if we break through that, we could be seeing $30 plus KuCoin. And then HBAR here is following the head and shoulders pattern, reverse head and shoulders pattern pretty well, pretty closely as well. Almost back over its 20 daily exponential moving average. So we could be seeing a move to the upside on HBAR very soon. So that's going to do it for today. If you haven't already, please hit the like, please hit the subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.